I miss traveling, I miss going back home to India. So there I was entering the airport and I was shocked to see what was happening.
Quiet's driving me insane. Silence rattles in my mind.
This is what it's like to travel during COVID.
Always waiting for the phone, so I built my towers tall, wandering through these empty.
When was the last time that you booked that flight for an international or even a domestic trip? I am pretty sure you can't remember, right? Neither could I before my last trip. I mean, I took a flight to Byron Bay from Sydney and I had a much needed long vacation and I loved it. But we will talk about that next time. Today we are going to talk about something entirely different. We all know that COVID has changed the face of air travel drastically. I mean, it was so easy to take a flight and fly over to another country before February, I guess, and after that it all tumbled down on everyone all over the world, and it changed extensively. And this was the first time I actually saw how it had changed air travel. I was a bit apprehensive before taking my flight to Byron Bay, but I thought it's Australia, it's Sydney, they had controlled it quite well and the cases were not rising, so I should be fine if I took all the necessary precautions. So there I was entering the airport and I was shocked to see what was happening. I mean, I did have expectations and I was imagining things before taking my flight, but getting there and seeing it in person was a completely different experience. So in today's video, this is what we are going to talk about. I'm going to tell you whatever I experienced during my travel to Byron Bay and how I felt things had changed, what were my expectations, what had happened, what I experienced, and everything about it. So stay tuned, and before that, do subscribe to my channel and do follow me on my Instagram. It's Globetrotting Heels as well, and stay tuned. Let's jump into the video now. So as soon as I entered the gates of Sydney Kingsford Smith International Airport, Terminal 2, it was deserted. I mean, I had never seen an airport so empty. There were only Jetstar counters that were open and there were only people lined up there, no one else. I think it was the most deserted airport I had ever seen in my life. But what else can you expect? I thought it would be empty. However, as we started walking in, we also saw so many boards telling you about the precautions you need to take, all of these hand sanitizer stations. So yeah, there were quite a few precautions by the airport authorities and I was happy about that. However, what I expected more was temperature checks, a form maybe asking whether you had been to Victoria or you were in Melbourne or you had been in contact with someone having COVID. There was nothing like that. I also expected strict measures about your movements before entering the airport, before being in Sydney, and I was quite shocked to see none of that was happening. And it was so easy to sneak in from Victoria, and who knows, I might have been in Melbourne and I was in Sydney right now by whatever measure I am, and I was boarding a flight to Byron Bay and carrying the disease with me. No one cared. I mean, it's so easy to go in and be there and infect all the people. But in saying that, I think it's difficult to scrutinize a lot of people, but I don't know, it sounds like an excuse. And then we started to head on towards the flight. Jetstar had claimed to give us a fly-well pack which contained sanitizing wipes and face mask, but they did not provide that from my Sydney to Byron flight. However, on the way back there were stations right next to the boarding gate which were handing them out to you, which I appreciate. I would have appreciated more if they gave it to me when I was flying into Byron. Apart from that, I also expected the flight to have a certain gap between two passengers. Say maybe the middle seat was empty or they had alternate seating, but the flight was packed. There was no social distancing in the flight and no one really cared about putting a face mask on, and none of the crew or anyone else at the airport actually instructed us to wear face masks. It always says that, you know, it's advised to wear it, but they did not make it mandatory, which I think should be made mandatory considering it's a 1 hour flight. It's not a big deal. Anyone can wear a face mask for a 1 hour flight. It is important at this stage of time. Another thing that saddened me a lot was the fact that the stores were closed. I felt really bad for the people who work at the airport. I mean, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening with their jobs, but this was so sad to see. I think 50% of the stores were closed.
This is what it's like to travel during COVID.
On a personal account, I was wearing my own face mask throughout the flight and within the airport, and I was hoping there would be stricter measures, and I think there should be stricter protocols. I hope we all overcome this and the new normal becomes the old normal and we go back to the old normal. I don't know what I said. Anyway, I just want the world to go back how it was before the pandemic. Okay, anyway, this was all for today. I hope you liked it. I hope I made sense, and I hope everything gets back to how it was before. And do subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and follow me on my Instagram and like my Facebook page, and you know the drill. Until then, wait for my next video, and I will see you next week with a very new and fun video of Byron Bay. I loved it there. I think you should go. Everyone should go to Byron Bay. See you next time.